So, in my opinion, instant dates are slightly overrated. They're okay. I mean, I have nothing against them, but they are slightly overrated by, a lot of guys, I think. A lot of guys love them or they place them in such high value, but they're slightly overrated in that sense. I think that, when you think about the advantages, disadvantages of them, it's like, the advantage is fairly clear, which is that you just get to spend more time with the girl in the moment. You get to capitalize on the initial interaction, whereas when they kind of go away, they have time to change their mind or forget about you, etc. So there's that. You can kind of solidify the interaction potentially with an instant date. That's kind of the main advantage. Ultimately, it's just about spending more time with the girl. That's ultimately what you're doing with an instant date. That's really what it comes down to. The disadvantage is that the time you're spending on an instant date with that girl is time you could have been spending approaching more girls and finding more girls, because ultimately it's like a sales process. It's like you need to find more prospects ultimately, and that's what this is about. So it's really is a numbers game, and if you're going out prospecting, so to speak, that's sometimes going to be more powerful rather than putting all your eggs in that one basket and just like trying to really solidify that one lead, so to speak. But yeah, that's the flip side. It's ultimately up to you whether you like doing them or not. For me, I'm not the biggest fan of them because, the way I see it, if I spend like 5 minutes talking to a girl, that's normally enough time to build a decent enough connection with her, and I'd rather just carry on with my life. I'm quite busy most of the time, so don't really want to spend like half an hour just with one girl, and and then I mean, obviously if things go all the way on that one day, great, but I do generally like to plan my dates out in general rather than just like drop everything, just go with the girl and just whatever. I like to kind of schedule things a bit more. That's just my kind of personal preference. I do recommend instant dates for most guys, to at least experience a few times and then to kind of see how you feel about them. It is good practice. It's always good practice to spend more time with a girl, especially if you're not really used to doing this, or if you're not really used to going on that many dates with girls, then this is 100% worth doing. But try not to see it as like, like for kind of like for validation purposes, because some guys get into day game, and if they get just a number from a girl, then they're like super happy about it, like they feel validated. They don't even care if the girl flakes. They might not even text the girl in some cases, because they're just like, yep, I've got the number, job done. I don't want any more. Well, it's like, and they have a kind of a similar mentality with instant dates. It's like, yep, oh, awesome, I got the instant date. Yep, I'm perfect now. It's like, and they don't actually want to push further than that, because it's almost a kind of like a kind of defense mechanism, because they don't want to face the potential rejection or the girl sort of denying them in the future. So there's that element to it. But overall, I think, I mean, instant dates, in my opinion, are slightly overrated by some guys. But I don't hate them. I don't have anything particularly against them. I think it's one of those things that you should see how you feel about them. I'm a bit kind of neutral about them. I think that spending time on an instant date with a girl is more or less just as valuable as spending more time doing more interactions. That's kind of the way I personally see it. And it's ultimately up to you whether you want to do them often or not. Yes, there is value in solidifying an interaction, especially if it's a girl that you really like and she also happens to be, free at that time. In fact, in that case, I'd probably recommend it a little bit more. But just doing instant dates for the sake of it for more advanced level guys, is it worth it? Maybe, maybe not. If you're a beginner, certainly worth it. Spending more time, just being one-on-one with a girl in a more kind of relaxed setting is 100% worth it. If you're a beginner guy, 100% worth it. At least a few times, get that experience under your belt. As far as actually how to, do it, it's like an instant date doesn't necessarily always have to be just go straight to the coffee place. It can literally just be like, let's just go for a walk in the park, or let's just find a park bench and just sit there for like 10, 15 minutes. That can also be kind of like an instant date, because ultimately, what is an instant date? It's just spending more time with the girl in that first moment, It's like, instead of going on an instant date, you could just speak one-on-one, standing up, carrying on with the initial interaction for another 20 minutes. Like, you could do that in theory, but it can be nice just to kind of do it, sort of have a change of scene, walk around somewhere, go to another venue, whatever, Another reason why I think instant dates are slightly overrated is because a lot of guys overemphasize the importance of them, even to the point where they think that, collecting numbers is entirely pointless, and that, instant dates are kind of mandatory if you want to get anything, from an interaction. But I really disagree with that. I think that's completely delusional speaking, really, because ultimately 5 minutes, even whatever, 5 minutes is sufficient enough time for enough of a value exchange to exchange numbers and actually have that girl genuinely want to see you again. Just because you're spending an extra like 20 minutes or whatever on an instant date with a girl, or half an hour or whatever, doesn't mean that she's not going to flake afterwards. So don't get too sort of caught up in the whole like, oh, I'm on an instant date now, oh, she's basically my girlfriend now. It's like, doesn't work like that. Like I said, it does give you more time to solidify the interaction, build more comfort with her, build more of a connection with her. More time is always good with her, that's always going to be in your benefit, but it's not essential. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make here. It's like, it can be nice sometimes if you've got the time for it, but it's not essential. It's certainly not mandatory, because ultimately, if a girl wants to see you again, it's ultimately, like I said, a value exchange. It's like, if you're not getting results from just number exchanges in a kind of more traditional sense, then it's either because your interactions could do with improvement, or it's because your SMV relative to the girl's SMV is not quite there, basically. So that's the ultimate reason why, if you're not getting results from standard sort of number exchanges, it's not because that it doesn't work, or that it has to be done via instant date. It's just not the case. I've seen it many times actually, where the girl was just bored or whatever in the moment, and she's like, okay, yeah, let's go on an instant date. And like, at the end of the instant date, unless she's coming home with you, which is extremely rare anyway, especially in like a big city, like busy city like London, that's super rare. Unless typically you'd go on an instant date for like anywhere from like 15 minutes to like an hour, but at the end of that time, she's probably gonna need to go home or do something, or whatever her plans are. You still need to exchange contacts at the end of that instant date anyway. So like I said, it gives you more time to solidify the interaction, solidify the connection with her. But in the end, you still need to exchange contacts, and like, it doesn't guarantee that just because you had an instant date that she's not going to flake on you later. So yeah, just need to bear that stuff in mind, really, and just kind of experience it, see how you feel about it. But like, there's no real right or wrong with this stuff. But don't get into like delusional thinking where it's like, oh no, you can't exchange numbers don't work, or Instagram doesn't work, which is just bullshit, really.
Cheers for watching. If you'd be interested in one-to-one coaching with me, where we'll go out in public and work on your approaching girls, or more generally with your social confidence, please visit my website ed-game.com.